Underdog Cup number 2, the tournament for Division 4 and 5 in HeroesLounge is continuing. We are in the winner bracket now. We have an 8-team double elimination bracket, and most of the games here are going to be best of 3s, but yeah, it's going to be quite a bit of fun. So now this is going to be the first match, the first map of our best of 3 series here. We have the free agent Team 2 phase going up against Team Space, which might actually ring a bell for people that watch the Spin to Win Cup. But just to give you guys a bit of an idea of what this actually is, this is a tournament that was set up to promote the grassroots scene a little bit, HeroesLounge in particular. So basically a lot of the tournaments these days, when there is a lot of prize money, you have the X-Pros coming in, and it is something where teams that compete in the amateur scene might be a little bit intimidated and not necessarily sign up for this. So this is a tournament that specifically just targets these teams. And we had the first Underdog Cup that was designed for teams that play within Division 2 and Division 3, and therefore roughly on a skill level between high diamond up to low grandmaster. And we also added now a second tournament where we're targeting specifically the lower end of the league, which is Division 4 and 5, where you have silver players, you have gold players, your occasional plat, even occasionally a diamond player sneaks in, but most of the people will be around the gold level, maybe a little bit lower here, and therefore the strategies are also very, very different. People are much more leaning towards, let's say, preference picks. Some of the builds might be something that they just personally feel comfortable with, so it's also a lot more fun. Fun in the sense there's mistakes that happen, we can have a bit of a laugh about it. People that sign up for this are very well aware of the casting style, so no reason to get offended of other people's behalf. But we also get to see some really interesting picks, and there is a draft rule within the tournament that says that every single hero can only be played once. So every hero that you see in game number 1 cannot be played again throughout the series. Now, if you apply that rule in an environment where you have semi-pros playing, that usually doesn't have a big impact until you're getting to map number 4 or 5, because, well, they have a pretty deep hero pool within their roles. The idea is, of course, to first of all push people a little bit out of their comfort zone, but also make it so you don't have to watch Genji and Hanzo and Blaze every single game. It is a little bit of a twist, though, when you're applying the same rule to the lower levels, because a lot of the guys that are playing here, they basically have a one-trick hero, or maybe they have 2 heroes, or maybe 3. So once that you're moving into game number 3, already we're starting to see some fall apart a little bit and having to play roles or heroes that they're not all that familiar with, resulting in all kinds of hilarity. So we had it already in the previous matches that we had in the tournament, and I believe this one is not going to be an exception. So it's going to be really, really good. We have Anduin, Leo, and Jaina on the side of Team Space, and Team 2 phase with Hanzo and Oriel. They're actually playing with 1 sub. It was a little bit chaotic at the beginning because it seemed that the captain was stuck in a train and they were already looking for a player to replace him, and were essentially about to start the draft when he apparently appeared. So now they're there with at least 4 of their core members and then a sub player that is swapping in for them today. Yeah, and we'll see how they can perform here. It's going to be a fun one. We have Tychus banned out 2. Infernal Shrines is the first map, as I already said. But this should be a good one. So far, in the Underdog Cup number 2, we had Cho'Gall already being played. We had quite a bit of Ragnaros. So preference picks are very, very real. And there will be games where some team thinks, hey, if we're going to throw a curveball here, they're not going to be able to react to it. So if that still proves to be true as we're moving on to the matches, remains to be seen. But yeah. So this is a winner bracket, meaning whoever loses drops down into the losers bracket, still has a chance to make that run through the grand final. But of course, in an ideal world, you would like to proceed through the winner bracket and make it towards the next round here. Diablo gets locked in, so a little bit of bullying on the shrines, and we get Khaldor. So some mage action. Whereas over on the red team side, well, what are we gonna get here? We need a tank, and we also need a little bit more damage. So, well, we're gonna get Stitches. Stitches wants to play, and he's gonna get some action. Jaina for some slows, so yeah, could also use the under and pull if you have a gorge and wanna pull the target even deeper in. Now, on the other side, we still need our side laner. They already know that he's up against Leoric. And we get Probius! So, it already starts. Probius in game number 1, ladies and gentlemen. Infernal Shrines, let's go. Fat Two-Face on the left in blue. We have the Zayakati on Kelthas. Thortor on Hanzo. Sergeant Johnny is playing Oriel. Jollyfella on Probius. That's gonna be one to look out for. And we have not Zap on Diablo. Over on the right side, we got Team Space with Amphora on Leoric. Primordial King is playing Stitches. Echo on Phoenix. Quibi on Jaina. And Fox is playing Anduin. So, it is party time. Let's see who takes the lead in this best of 3 series and who's going to be able to win this. How Probius is going to perform here. What we can get from Kelthas. Already teasing us with a level 1 talent. Not going for Mana Addict yet. We are going to get some Flame Strike action. My word. Sad moment. The first disappointment of the game after teasing us with the late talent choice. We get the standard. We get Mana Addict. So, no actual Flame Strike build up. I haven't actually seen the talent in a really long time. So it's a little bit sad. The last time that I've seen it was actually when we incentivized it during the Bounty Cup by giving people a reward for using it, because let's just face it, Mana Addict is the only real talent that you have on level 1. That's just all there's to it. So it is maybe an unfortunate route, but it's just simply what's going on. Top side, we got Probius now against Leoki. Down here at the bottom of the map, it's the rotation between the middle and the bot that we're getting. And yep, so far, so good. Now, oh, by the way, good news. I was talking about Pizza Day the entire time. Yesterday was Pizza Day, and it was glorious. Oh, really good. I need to also find a proper pizzeria here that makes like a pizza with pineapple. I don't think we have one nearby, but since I've been talking about it a lot, I am starting to actually get pretty excited about that. We had some in Germany where I grew up that had that, and it was always nice. So I have to see if I can get something like that also here, but yesterday was just typical spicy pizza, and it was absolutely amazing. So yeah, good times. Finally made it happen. Took long enough. But with that, we now have the kill on Stitches. This is our first one. The camp is also taken, so the free agent team is doing their thing. This is, by the way, what FAT stands for, so we're not trying to body shame anybody here. By the way, I personally am a huge fan of body shaming. I know this is going to be a controversial take here. Not necessarily when you body shame strangers, that's a little bit different. I would say that this is just you being a dick. But when we're just talking about telling a friend, hey, dude, you should probably watch your waistline a little bit and maybe lay off the chocolate and do some sports, that's a good thing. That's being honest. That's trying to be helpful to a friend. So, yeah. But in this case, FAT is not body shaming. It's actually just for free agent team. That's just basically it. So, right now, we got Probius already on level 4 with turbocharged. And yeah. I'm actually really happy that this whole FAT acceptance thing is starting to die out. Well, literally and figuratively. And that people are starting to lean a little bit more towards, hey, let's try and be a bit more healthy. I'm really a big fan of that. Sorry if that offends anybody, but I actually don't really care. You don't need to become a gym rat, but looking after yourself is something that is a positive and not a negative. So, yeah, just saying. But either way, 1 kill is all that we got. Stitches is the one that was taken out. Camps are now claim 2 as the first objective pops up. Teams are getting ready over here. And, well, let's see what they can actually pull off. Who takes the first Punisher? Leo is sitting topside and is currently doing his thing. At the same time, of course, we are also looking at another Gravity Lab. Stitches is getting targeted right now and is a bit low, but is able to move back out. The blue team is also starting to have some trouble, especially Hanzo, who's able to jump back out. But the first kill in the fight goes against Kelthas. Kelthas is gone. Even Leoki gets saved by a helping hand here. Actually, I think it was Anduin that pulled him out. And not Stitches. Don't want to give the wrong credit here. But so far, they are doing pretty okay. 7 kills, level 7 is on the board, but there's 34 stacks for the blue team, despite the fact that they lost Kelthas initially, so they take the Arcane Punisher and can now try and proceed to take down... Oh, maybe even a... Oh, that would have been a nice kill. If you get at that point in time Phoenix and then you can push for the structure, that would have been awesome. but they're not quite able to pull the kill off. They can still try and target, of course, the fort. Nice pull over the wall. That's always important, so they were able to do that. And yeah, now we're gonna see how much damage they can actually do to all of this. Seems like the defense is running the Punisher down very quickly, so the wall is destroyed, but not much more than that. Probius is already back up towards the top and faces off against Leorki here. Stitches with limited success right now. I personally want to see what exactly is going to happen when he hits level 13, because Stitches can always be a huge problem. Even if you're behind, if you have to push into Stitches, he hits a good hook, gets a gorge out, and then you lose the first hero, that can be a real issue. But right now, he becomes the target once again. And there's a lot of stuns. First, the Diablo stun into the wall, then the follow-up with the whip from Oriel, and even the gravity lapse. So they're stacking their CC extremely well. I absolutely like this. Very good coordination from the blue team so far. They are behind in experience though. They got the Punisher, but they are behind in experience. And this time the hook hits hard. Good damage follow-up too, but not enough to take Khaldor down. But it was close. So they're slowly getting there. Oriel, on the other hand, is just on point with that whip. Doing really, really well. Hitting the target time and time again. And in this case, yeah, just missing out on the hook connect. That could have, of course, been pretty neat. Now the question that remains is, can they use the window around level 10 to maybe push for a camp? Maybe push for a kill, go for a structure. Is the red team able to exploit this? It's a half-level gap. Not a whole lot, but maybe they can do something with it. A missed pause? I'm a little bit confused. Normally when that happens and the pause gets negated right away, it just means that somebody accidentally tried to pause as well. And there it is. Okay, so that makes a little bit more sense. Seems like they're having some issue. It doesn't really look like anybody disconnected. So maybe it's just a matter of having some ping problems for now. But, or it's a tactical pause because they need to figure out how they're going to deal with the level 10 on the other side. But right now, when we're looking at the abilities, we have Gorge obviously in. We have also Leoric with his Entomb. And that could become a problem specifically for Probius as the game continues here. At the top lane, the two of them have been left alone for most of the match, so we haven't seen a lot of rotations that would have tried to take one of the side laners out. Instead, the 4-man has just really been aggressive around the rotation with the middle and the bot lane. We have 14 stacks for Khaldor. Normally, by the time that level 10 kicks in, you kind of want to be in a position where you are about to finish this. So maybe trailing slightly behind. But then again, as I already said before, we're looking at Division 4 and 5 here. But this is just like the raw, rough idea that you have, because generally survivability is, of course, starting to plummet once your opponent has rogue abilities that they can start throwing against you. Probius on level 1 is nearly done, so has Gather Minerals here. And I still have my eyes on him a bit, because Probius can make a huge difference depending on how he's played. And you can already see it in the amount of siege damage that Probius currently has. Sitting at 54,000, way more than Leoric too. So during those fights on the shrine, Probius can also have a pretty massive impact on all of this. And we'll see if they can use that to their advantage. But for now, we get Light Bomb for Anduin as the talents are being clicked in. Phoenix has gone for the salvo, so unfortunately we don't get a laser here, but they can't do anything with the gap either. We have now Diablo with the lightning breath. We're getting the arrow, and Khaldor is going straight up for Pyroblast. So it is Pyro time, and Probius at the top gets soloed by Leoric. Leoric was able to get his ult out and then kill Probius. So I said earlier that the Entomb might become a problem for Probius. I didn't expect it to happen in the one-on-one. So that's a kill that should not have happened. But well, it did. Now another quick hook, but no Gorge. They're not following up on that yet. Stitches might still think about it. But yeah, Jaina is getting her abilities out to rotate over towards the camp and make sure that she claims that quickly. It's all for the next objective again. And given how much damage she takes, is she just gonna heal up? Or are we gonna hearth here real quickly? Nope, seems like Anduin is on the job and needs to do some work. Now, Phoenix is still at the bottom of the map. He can push the lane out a bit further, but he should definitely join up with the rest of the team as quickly as he can. Because if not, yeah, there's the Gorge. Can they kill? Yeah, even pulling the target, and that's the end. That's the end of Khaldor. Into the range of the towers, and that's all that they needed to do here. So the towers plus Jaina take down Khaldor. That's the third kill for Team Space. And of course, the next good news for them is the fact that it's now a 5 versus 4 on the shrine, and they can hope to take down the target. So, yep, nicely done. That is actually pretty sweet for them. It was a really good start into that battle. If they can win the objective, they could go a long way with this, because they are getting kills. They're taking Oriel down, they're taking Probius down, and they're taking Diablo out too. So that's an easy triple kill right there for the red team, and a level 13 talent that they have at the same time. This is huge. With that, they now have a shot at that top fort and could try and take it out. They could push for it even now, not even wait for the objective to do some initial damage, not wait for the opponent to be ready with Probius coming back in, but they're actually waiting this out, slowing things down a little bit. Phoenix is moving down to the bottom of the map, and here comes the Frozen Punisher. Frozen Punisher, obviously the big boy right there that can really start to hurt them. Yeah, the wall is already opened up, so that makes things even harder. The hooks are coming out again, and in come the next attacks. So immediately we have Stitches in the thick of things. The fort gets continuously disabled. Big jump, big stun. I was waiting for the Entomb to come out from Leoric here, but it didn't. The problem is that it seems that the fort will fall 100%, and it does. Probius is fighting at the bottom of the map against Phoenix now. So that's the first major structure destroyed. And down here, the party continues. Right here, we have the action against Probius. He could at some point also attempt to, of course, go for a bit of a rotation and try and see if they can maybe surprise him. If Leo gets an Entomb through, or we have Stitches with a hook, that would definitely work. And by the way, we now... Oh, he hooks Hanzo, and then gorgeous Diablo gets him out just in range here, but the damage dealers aren't there. Entomb now, maybe, but they're already slowing Dibble, so they don't even need the Entomb. They're trying it on the other hand on Oriel. She dies too. Team Space is absolutely rushing it. They're taking kill after kill. They're now sitting at 8 kills to 1. They have a 2-level advantage over their opponent. Jaina, by the way, with the Stormfront. That is not something that you see. So there are adjustments. I talked about it before, that are clearly personal preferences. To an extent, the normal builds are being followed on the heroes, but there will be adjustments that are made. One that I'm not a personal fan from is Fission Bomb. But in this league, it makes a whole lot of sense. People have a much bigger problem here to properly split, and especially when the fights are centering around the shrines, you can get a lot of value out of this. So we have Pyro, we have Fission Bomb here, and Khaldor has been doing some decent damage. Not quite as much as Hanzo, but roughly on the same level of what we're seeing from Jaina. And Jaina is actually following her level 13 talent up with some synergy on level 16 now as well, heading straight into Snowstorm. So more and more point damage, especially for the objective. Another move on Diablo. Pulverize. So far so good. The arrow from Hanzo from the top connects with 2 and stuns them out. But they get the kill on Khaldor, and that's kill number 9. And the lead is just being extended. The level advantage alone is already wild, and of course this comes with the extra talent. 2 forts are destroyed, and now they can just go once again straight up for that fort in the middle and make their play there. Which is exactly what we're seeing from the red team. They're trying to push the advantage now. This is also the lane where the next objective is going to spawn, which of course means that you find yourself in a position where if you damage structures here right now, you can do extremely well later on if you are able to get the objective itself. And as it gets announced, Jaina is back to the camp. So this is another thing where you have to try to consistently take those mercenary camps as the objective spawn, so that you create another problem for your opponent on the map that they have to focus on. And yeah, that's exactly what we're seeing right now. So yeah, so far so good. But the attack already focusing straight again on Diablo. Diablo is down. He's eliminated. And, well, we get a triple kill against the blue team as Probius and Oriel are getting dropped, and so does Hanzo. Hanzo is dead as well. Nicely done. That is the 4th kill, and poof, this is snowballing hard. That little snowball is turning into an absolute avalanche right now. Absolutely crazy. Definitely not good news for Team Two-Face. Team Space is dominating this. Absolutely dominating this. With 13 kills to 2, they are massively in the lead at this point in time. They could, honestly, after they got the kills, I would really have loved for them to go for the 4 directly. I don't think there was any reason to not attack this right away and only focus on the objective. You can escort your minions through very quickly, you can start to do damage. You don't have to wait for the actual Immortal here, for the Punisher. So that's something that they missed out on, and they could have done better. They could have optimized this a little bit. That doesn't mean that they're not massively ahead. So they're already in a fantastic spot, and they're taking this down now. Punisher hasn't taken any damage, but again, you could get more out of this if you're just a little bit quicker at that and try to maybe go for the wall. Either way, they are on level 19. They're trying those hooks again. They're trying to come in and take out the keep. Maybe even more than that if they get more kills, but the wall is already eliminated. So that's the next one that falls quickly. We got 13 kills to 2 now, and once they hit level 20, it's going to be such a massive gap between the two teams that for Team Two-Face, it is rough to catch up and get an even color. Arrow comes out, connects with 2, really well done. Here comes Diablo, goes for the barbecue and kills Phoenix. Phoenix is down, Leorki might be in trouble as well. Bomb spread everywhere, and Leoric is gone. Finally some signs of life, but a big hook, and no, we didn't get the Gorge afterwards. Didn't get the Gorge after this little play, so yeah, unfortunate for him. And down at the bottom of the map, that's we're now having a camp. But Diablo gets hit hard, gets stunned, and dies. I think actually Anduin's light bomb didn't actually stun him, but he got slowed enough that he couldn't escape anyways. But it's a bit unfortunate for the Team Two-Face that they weren't able to pull this one off. They did initially really well. And they got the 2 kills, you know, that's like the start to try and get back into the game. So if they can after that get a couple of camps, maybe even take a fort down, then you're taking the first step there. You need to spread onto the lanes, get as much experience as you can so that you're ready for the next objective. But right now, they're still trailing by 1.5 levels. And I just don't see them bridge that gap in time. That's the bigger problem right now. So more camps are being claimed by Team Space now. The experience distribution, as you can see here, in pretty much every category, leaning towards Team Space, towards the red team. And already the move towards the top. So yeah, next play coming together right there, as once again we're going to see the fight over the objective soon enough. But first, the Entomb. Aegis is out. They're still trying to get the kill here. And, well, the Gorge on Hanzo. Light bomb. This time the stun works out perfectly, and they drop the target. Well done. So, that's a double kill, but they're losing 2 as well. It seems like by now, the blue team do some cojones and is now starting to come in and get their counter kills. That means 6 kills in their name. They're closing in on level 20. That would be sweet. Then they have finally their Storm talent. They managed all of that in the last fight without even having access to their level 20 talent. But now, of course, we're getting also pressure applied through catapults, which is another problem. Shrine is activating in 24. By then we should have all of the heroes back up on the map. And then it's going to get a bit nasty up here. Because then it matters. Like, whoever wins this one, well, if the red team wins one, they're likely going to get their first keep, maybe even more than that. Aurel is died 4 times, so has Diablo. 41,000 damage for Jaina, puts her in the driver's seat for the red team, but the top damage dealer in the game is Hanzo with 54,000. And, well, everybody is slowly starting to get ready here. So, down, oh, arrow, and Jaina immediately with the reaction, realizing what was going on, getting the damage out, and they are able to take Probius apart once more. Probius is killed. They're trying quickly to go for the shrine again. It's a 5 versus 4 and without Probius, they're missing a lot of the area clear. Nice Entomb! The Entomb from hell! And it's a 5, man! Team wipe! That Entomb was gold. Absolutely gold. I mean, check this one out. Leo comes in, catches all of them essentially, and they are getting slaughtered. Absolutely slaughtered. So now the move towards the core. Seems like game number 1 is going to Team Space. Nice job by them. Team 2 phase, again, with 1 sub here today. They were trying their best. They made it to level 20, but they lost the crucial fight towards the end. And now on Inferno Shrine, W goes to the red team to take the lead in this series, in this best of 3 in the winner bracket. GG.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Map number 2. So, Cursed Hollow, everybody. Team Space in the lead now in this best of 3 series. And they did really well on the first map. The 10 heroes that have been played are unavailable, so teams have to play around it a bit. Probius, unfortunately for the blue team, was not able to win it. Had some trouble at the top lane against Leoric, who performed with some pretty sexy entombs, I have to say. So we got some awesome entombs by him. Now that we're heading into the second map, the blue team has to, of course, step it up a little bit if they're trying to turn this around. If they lose, they still have a chance in the lower bracket. So they wouldn't be out of the tournament. But let's see what the blue team has now up their sleeves. For now, what we're getting as bans is Brightwing. It's always a nice ban. Cursed Hollow, obviously, as a map is also immediately a little bit different. The bosses alone make this already super interesting, so you can technically try and focus with your compositions a bit also on boss control. Jojo gets banned out. Yeah, but again, I don't really think they're having too much trouble fielding a proper team for a second map already. There's just so many good heroes still around. We had a bit of a mage-heavy draft on both sides, I guess, but now, if you think about it, Vala, for example, is still available, so you could go for a bit of an auto attacker style there as well, fairly easily, and that might be exactly what we're seeing. I mean, even an arrow build can be played. I actually miss this a little bit, that arrow build gets played on maps that are not Battlefield of Eternity. Those were the days in HGC, you know, when Chris would just play arrow build wherever he could, and be successful with it too. So those were the good old days. We had that afterwards occasionally, even outside of Chris just using that. And you can do it on a lot of maps. But here, for example, you have a lot of fights happening around Tribute, so you could technically try and pull it off too. But we are starting things off with Varian. Okay, this is already starting to get interesting. Varian is in, which now means that with Varian taken, this is immediately something where you would think, hey, we are going to talk about potentially, again, another combo around Taunt. And there's Li Ming for burst damage. But do you follow that up with Stukov? Do you get Malfurion in the mix now for some additional roots? Some of the teams have used Tyrande, which I always think is a bit more of a liability here. Stukov, in this case, obviously, has already been taken by the red team, so they can't rely on him here. But Malfurion would still be a good choice with his root. They go for Sonya first. Ooh. They can now go straight into Taunt, Leap, Li Ming damage, and maybe in addition to that, also a root. So this could be interesting here. Now, obviously, this is also a little bit telegraphed. I mean, if you start with Varian as your first pick, then it's quite clear to the opponent what you're trying to pull off. So right now, they're looking at this. They might just ban Malfurion out and say, like, no roots for you. They are more worried about Tyrande. Again, we've seen that Tyrande Varian comp a few times. Tyrande has the problem with mobility still and is very much on the squishy side. Malfurion isn't really the most hit point heavy guy either, but his root is oftentimes also a bit easier to apply. But you can tell from the bans already that Team Space is fully aware that this is going to be an attempt at setting up a killer comp that just farms kills in the early game and then translates that advantage into the mid and late game. So currently Nuburak is also banned, which means that we're not going to get any cocoon shenanigans when they're trying to execute that combo. It would be a little bit funny to me if they now played Uther main tank and had a double support and used also Divine Shield together with Stukov utilizing a Lurking Arm. Highly unlikely that we're going to get that. but it would be a bit of a funny one. So Mirrodin is our main tank instead. And we get Chromie, so she's gonna stay at a safe distance. And the only thing that they're missing is some additional damage. But the blue team, they are down to their final 2 picks, and they now have to decide, first of all, what their healer is going to be. My money is on Malfurion, considering that Tyrande has been banned out. I mean, who else do you have that gives you that reliable stun? You could go, I guess, Uther, but I don't really see it with that comp. I think Malfurion makes way more sense. There he is. And we get Deathwing together with that. Yeah, and on the other side, the final pick for Team Space. What is the final choice here? They still need some more damage. Chromie's nice, but they need more. Chromie alone is not gonna cut it. And, well... an auto attacker maybe 2 would of course help them here. And it's Greymane. They go Greymane. Map number 2, stage is set. We're going to Cursed Hollow, everybody. Let's head straight into the second map of the series. Game number 2, it's match point for Team Space, but on the left, the blue team with Thortor on Liming. We got Sergeant Johnny on Malfurion with the Emerald Dreams on level 1. Not Zap is playing Sonya. We got Jolly Fella on Deathwing. And we got Desire Kati playing Varian, full-on main tank here. On the right side, in red, Amphora on the Haka for Team Space. Primordial King is playing the tank with Mirrodin again. We got Fox on Stukov, Echo on Greymane, and Quibi is playing Chromie. Let the games begin. It's party time. Who will be successful on the second map? Is the blue team going to drop down into the lower bracket already, or are they starting the comeback? Deathwing in all its majestic glory as a black dragon is doing his thing. Spray game also on point. I like that. Not pleb spray, not going for the standard here. We have a bit of variation, so yeah, so far so good. I mean, always spray game needs to be absolutely on point. It needs to properly hotkey on a button, on your mouse for example, and then the sprays need to be coming. I mean, we have to embrace the memes here. It's just what we need to do. Honestly, after our discussion that we had in the last one, I want a Maga spray. I think it's really important that we embrace Maga. It's a fantastic movement. It should be supported by all of us. So again, if you're in doubt, make Abathur great again. That is something that the game needs. And, well, what we definitely not need more is kills. Well, maybe a few. But they are going ham right at the start. Both of the tanks are already biting the dust here. So Mirrodin is down and so is Varian. So they're trading kills right from the get-go. I mean, it's good for the red team, for the blue team. They were struggling with their kills in the earlier game. But now already an early hit right there. Now, they're trying to... Ooh, that connect! Look at you! Dehaka, you little beast. Nice. That man can do things with his tongue. It is quite amazing. Just ask his girlfriend. That was not bad. They potentially could have gotten a kill here. They weren't quite able to pull it off, but connects like that, you got another damage dealer behind you, and all of a sudden you're looking at a deadly Ming here. Now, with level 4, we're getting for Chromie the Undoral Anomaly. Mirrodin went actually into Perfect Storm as his level 1 talent. And Deathwing down here at the bottom. Taunt, by the way, now ready. So this is really where you're looking towards Taunt. This is where you need to try and figure out, okay, are they able to get the kills in? But first what happens is that Malfurion falls, and that's really not good news. They're body blocking Varian too. That makes matters worse. One more Stormbolt and he should be toast. And they are getting the kill here. But Greymane... he gets away. Not even close. That was kind of clutch. So they're able to get out with Greymane. That got dangerous for a moment or two. But yep, they are able to move out. Now we have 3 kills, 2-1. We have with level 4 talent, Slam build also continued. And of course, as the first objective here spawns, the first tribute, the teams will try and make a play for that. The leading experience isn't really all that big. The kills obviously quite handy to gain a bit of map control in general. But right now it's just all about interrupts. The Haka is still at the top, so there's a global that still gathers experience for Team Space. The fight here, they have to be careful because Greymane was nearly dead. So they're buying time for the Haka, that's fine, but he now joined the battle too. The Haka is in. Misses the Tong this time. That's a full 5 versus 5 between the two teams. I would have loved for the Haka to just stay at the top a bit longer. I don't really know why they went down here. They could have interrupted with Chromie continuously and just let the Haka soak experience, but they moved him down to the bottom of the map very early, so now they can't play that card. But they get the lick, and now Sonya is gone. So it paid off for them after all. It was a bit scary for a second, because for some time it actually looked like they are not able to pull that off. They could have lost heroes there, particularly Greymane was insanely low. But the fight isn't over. Yeah, Varian, again, he has Taunt ready. They haven't synced up on that well yet. Couldn't get a kill. But this is still not taken. Sonya is back. There's still a few interrupts. Nice, there's the drag. They're trying for Varian again. Varian, lurking arm is out. Nice, he's a bit isolated too. Muradin has to jump out, but Varian gets absolutely clobbered by Chromie. Chromie comes in and gets the kill, slaps him around easily here. And that is a dead Varian. Level 7, no Calamity. We get Seeker. Seeker instead of Calamity for Li Ming. Okay. So trying to stay far away from the action and not getting too involved. Missing out on Calamity is, on the other hand, a bit tricky. They're going for a double, triple channel now. And yep, the interrupt doesn't hit all of them. So nicely done. First tribute goes to Team Space. They had to fight for that quite a bit. Sonya at the top, now against the Haka, who's back up to business. Tong misses. Chromie went into slowing sands here, so more zone control for her. And they are half a level ahead now. The kill count, of course, also telling you the tale. 5 kills to 1. And on top of that, still on level 7, Battle Rage for Sonya. More camps to be claimed too. That's where especially Greymane just excels. Greymane can do a ton with this and just get those camps quickly. Bosses are of course now up as well, so this is going to make things interesting pretty soon. Who goes for a boss first? Who's going to start to take this? I mean, the next tribute is spawning. It's going to be the second one for them. And, well, the camp here is taken. Muradin is already checking on the boss. So Muradin already start to move in to check if the blue team is trying to take the boss at the bottom of the map. But the tribute is now spawning, and it seems more and more that Team Two-Face is going to try and go for the tribute. This would be the second one for the red team, and they have level 10 abilities as well. So the blue team should be very careful what they're doing now. They can't really go too deep on this. The interrupts from Deathwing are doing well. Yeah, but they're gonna lose this, of course, one way or another. And that's exactly what we're now getting. So this one is gonna... has ended up in the hands of Team Space, and now they're going very quickly for the boss. Which has been sniffed out by the blue team. And they have level 10 now. But they're not making a play. This is actually a little bit tricky for them, because if they are too late to the boss party... Oh boy, that's bad news. If they go down to the bottom of the map and take their own boss, that's one thing. But now, they haven't taken theirs, and they have missed the gank at the boss of the red team. So, they have completely missed out on everything here. That's tough. Because now the red team can go down to the bottom of the map and go for the second boss. They have full vision up at the top, where the blue team is trying to defend. And with Greymane in particular, they should have plenty of time to lock this one in and have zero issues with it. Greymane is going to take that quickly. Muradin is already playing this out with Sonya a little bit. Leap is still available. But you know what? That timing is actually going to work out, because the boss at the top has not been taken. And she leaps too late! Sonya leaps in, she's a second too late. Greymane still gets killed, but we have the boss at the bottom of the map taken by Team Space. They are attempting to escape with the rest of the team as best as they can. And they are able to get away here. At the top, the boss has done significant damage, and then even more came together as the minions also contributed. But down at the bottom of the map, they have to now deal with boss number 2. There's a full level gap now between the teams. So, yeah, that's the next problem that they have here. Yeah. I mean, I like that they were trying to move in. Sonya leaping could nearly have worked. If they are 1 second, if they're 1 second earlier than that, then they could maybe have. If they get the leap connect, they get the kill on Greymane like they did, and then they steal the boss. That would have been the play. But that's not how it worked out. So yeah, tough times. Either way, the top fort is now gone. The one at the bottom has taken damage, and Dehaka is already back down to the bot lane to try and get them a bit of a lead. But there's also a tribute spawning, so the blue team will now have to rotate down. Granted, they took the 3rd tribute. That was the first one for them. But at the same time, they are still 1 tribute behind, and this could be a curse against them. Oh, but Muradin gets absolutely wrecked. That's the combo that we talked about earlier. They went full on taunt into leap, into damage, and blew Muradin to pieces. Nice. Perfect execution, and that gives them a 2nd tribute. So, nicely done. The bottom fort, on the other hand, is insanely low now. Archers have done more damage, and it should be destroyed quickly. But it's still not quite sure who is going to get the first curse. Both have 2 tributes now. Sonya is dealing with the top lane. Once that they destroy the fort at the bottom of the map, they're also, of course, going to get even more passive experience. Currently, we have Chromie on 20,000 damage. Li Ming is sitting at 30,000. So, 10k ahead of her. But Deathwing... I mean, Greymane right now, also with the bullet. We have virulent reaction here for Stukov. Fight is breaking out again. They're aiming for the bot lane once more. They're trying to go for Varian, and here comes the ult from Malfurion. More on the defensive side than anything else. They were just trying to cover the retreat of their tank of Varian. But now the tribute is up, and there's still a lot of ults available. Leap and Taunt are 2 of them, of course. Here comes the engage. Deathwing is starting to move in, and Greymane gets deleted. Absolutely deleted. Dehaka is low. Muradin is attempting to help him out, and saves the day. But there's still 1 hero down. So, Team Two-Face is gaining a lot more control. A lot more momentum for them now. They have lost their bottom fort, though. The Siege Giants have taken care of it, and they're also slowing the progress down at bot lane, at least slightly. But this at the top is going to do easy damage on the fort. They're already moving way past the one at the bottom of the map in an attempt to take the first one out here. It's a 5 versus 5 now. Experience is nearly identical. Both of the teams are essentially on level 4 at this point. And at the top side, yeah, Greymane will deal with that. Dehaka, that's the good news of having a global, swiftly moved into the middle. Li Ming, by the way, went straight into Glass Cannon on level 13, so they are definitely taking a couple of risks with the builds that they're using here, trying to ensure that they're getting kills. And so far, it has worked out better than what happened in game number 1. Is that going to be enough to win it? We'll see. But for now, we got Greymane controlling the top lane, Dehaka doing his thing in the middle, and the curse is nearly over. So they gained a bit of control back. They did some damage to all the forts, destroyed 1, but not enough. Muradin hops out, and he makes it! And Sonya dies! No way! Muradin makes it. He's able to escape. Good for him. That could have been really problematic, but, well, they save him, and now they're chasing the rest. They're trying to take the rest down, and we'll see if they can. For now, they aim for Malfurion, and they drop him. Malfurion gone. Level 16 is now on the board, and they get Varian too. Greymane nearly died in the process, but he got out. They got the kills. And so far, things are looking pretty darn good for the red team again. It's a nice back and forth currently. So it's a pretty neat back and forth between them. But the red team pulls ahead. They have now the upper hand in numbers, so they can go for the boss. They can actually go for double boss play again if they want. There's a few forts that are very low, so they have to still make sure that the minion waves don't pressure in on them, or they will fall. But the boss is now marching through the bot lane. We're now 13 minutes in, so these bad boys are starting to become a little bit stronger. And that level 16 talent is already dissuading the blue team from trying to engage here and start a fight. Top lane, everything fine so far for Dehaka too. He could, of course, get them another minion wave, especially since he has now full vision at the bottom of the map. The defense is strong for the blue team, but they're missing out on the map. So currently, another boss is taken, and they could actually try and push with this right now. Honestly, I would have loved for them to... I mean, two choices. Push with the boss. You already have a situation where catapults are at the top. So if you go in with your talent advantage, you can do a lot of damage here. The alternative is push the boss in slightly and then go for the fort in the middle. They have taken an additional camp, but they should really aim for one of the structures. It doesn't really do anything for them to just simply send those camps on their way and then not do anything with them. So right now it seems like they're aiming for the fort in the middle. Fair play. But they need to really also then do some damage with it. Get the fort destroyed, or this is just simply not really worth it for them. So, attack is coming. Fort is an easy target. Seems like the blue team is actually trying to wrap around from the top a bit, but this fort is gone either way. Li Ming could jump in. Varian is a bit more in a pickle. He doesn't have the mobility to pull that off. But off we go. Right now, they try for Varian. Taunt is out. Root on the ground. Lurking arm as well. Big barbecue. And Greymane is gone. Varian survived. Greymane didn't. Muradin jumps in again. Sees Varian. Gets the hit. Where's the added damage? They need more damage. And Chromie. Varian just doesn't move away. And Chromie says, thank you very much. I'll take this one. The tribute has already been claimed though. So the blue team gets the tribute. Still no curse for Team Space. They still haven't gotten the curse. It's a 4 versus 4. And it seems like they're trying to poke a little bit in the middle against the keep. The too little gap, of course, will eventually lead to a level 20 advantage. It's at the bottom of the map where their keep has now taken damage. Siege Giants were pushing in here too. Since Deathwing isn't here yet either, they can try to apply some additional pressure. Dehaka is at the top, so experience is everything for them now. There's another tribute spawning, but they still don't have level 20 and they won't have it in time. So, are they really fighting for this? The stats advantage obviously goes to Team Space. There's no doubt about that, but they don't have level 20. Dehaka is sitting at the top. Greymane is now coming in. If they can just simply buy some time for Dehaka, that also works. It's going to give them more experience, and he can go for the keep. But he actually tunnels in. Dehaka tunnels in, gets the isolation. Isolation is ready, and now the chance to get a kill on Varian, and they take him. Varian is down. He's eliminated. 5 versus 4 now. Li Ming on the run. They target her whenever they can. She has glass cannon, so she's mega vulnerable here. But also trying to just always stay a little bit away. If they can get the curse now, that would be big. But here comes Li. They still try. Li Ming from the side. She wants the resets. And nearly gets a kill on Greymane, but they turn it on Sonya and finally drop her. Level 20 is available for them too. Li Ming without Calamity gets the wave of 4 skill on Greymane. Nice. Malfurion is also getting chased though. He's running straight into the minions. In comes Li Ming trying to help out. Stukov is channeling the tribute. Muradin is out of mana. It is an absolute disaster here, but now with the curse coming in just a moment, we are going to get... I think Deathwing has been interrupting. We are going to get at the top destroyed keep very likely. There's the curse, and this is obviously going to target the keep in just a second. And the rest of the red team is now busy at the bottom of the map trying to aim for the next structure. 4 versus 4 on the map. They have to be careful here. Some are starting to run out of mana a bit, but the top side keep will 100% fall. There's nobody trying to defend it. Nobody. Same is happening in the middle. There's catapults here, there's minions here. All that they're defending is the bottom of the map currently. But Sonya is now back and is doing her best to stop the top lane push. Down here in the middle, it is Deathwing. But at least this keep is gonna fall. In the mid lane, we might see the same thing with the next minion wave coming by. And at the bottom of the map, the catapult has already started to take aim too. So this doesn't look too great either. 2 keeps are down. The one in the middle is being held together by Spit and a little bit of bubblegum. And it seems like the bubblegum just went out. So that's all keeps destroyed. Every single keep is gone. Right now, you find yourself in a spot where basically you have just to try and play this slow. If you're the red team, just take your time. Catapults will do your job for you. You don't even have to engage in a team fight if you don't want to anymore. And of course, to make matters even worse, the red team has a global. They got the Haka. All they gotta do now, let the lanes push. Buy their time a little bit. If you have a chance at an easy boss, you take it. But just make sure that you don't give your opponent a team fight you don't need to give them. And what the blue team currently does is what we call honorable Sudoku. Because they are going for a boss at the bottom of the map, but they're completely ignoring that the red team is taking the boss at the top lane, and this bad boy is going to go straight for the core. So the red team should try and end with this. Level 20 will be available on both sides. They don't have to try and go for it, but this is a really nice shot 19 minutes in to try and end the game here. So we'll see what they're pulling off with it. They're already moving towards the top lane. They can get the Siege Giants as well. Li Ming, he missed the Storm Bolt, but they don't miss the kill. She face checks the bush. That's the main damage dealer for the blue team gone. 82,000 damage thanks to Glass Cannon. And Li Ming is dead. 12 kills, 2-6. Bad news for the team in blue. Seems like they're going to go down into the lower bracket. Nicely done here. Stukov dies. I don't think that's going to be enough for them. Already the attack is taking the shield off the core. Deathwing is doing his best. They're trying to get more kills in the back, but the boss is moving in. We have the Siege Giants here. The core is slowly falling. Deathwing himself is already low. The boss at 50% HP. They're getting big hits right now in on the core and the heroes. Li Ming not here to help with the defense, and that's a 2-0 victory for Team Space, ladies and gentlemen. Nicely done. GG. Well played. Team Space moves on in the winner bracket.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.